So if you were to name two of the most annoying things in Call of Duty, what would you consider those things as? I know that my two choices are either that a lot of people are going to agree with it, or, you know, some people are going to be really mad with it, and I'm fine with that, honestly. But number one right off the bat would have to be riot shields, and then the second one would be cluster mines. I personally don't like how they are right now in MW3 and Warzone, and I have a couple of ideas of how to fix them. Before we get on with me yapping for the next couple minutes, comment what you would do to balance out both of these, or do you think they're fine as is? Let me know that I'm an idiot and that I should put another 20 years on this franchise before I give some input. So I would really appreciate that. You know, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that. Anyway, let's get in to how we're gonna fix this problem. First off, I know there's a lot of people that like using melee only weapons and that they have to use the riot shield as a way to kind of get in close or as a way to protect themselves. Now, I only see these people on things like Shipment 24/7 and Stash House, but there are some people, you know, These Knives Only or TKO, that do use melee weapons and sometimes use riot shields to get in close. Having said that, whenever this game first came out, it was about shooting at one another with firearms, with guns. There were no riot shields in World War II. Don't let Vanguard in World War II fool you. There were no ballistic, you know, anti-bullet shields whenever we were fighting Germany. Having said that, the first time that we had riot shields was MW2 2009, and the way that they balanced out riot shields was every time it would take damage, a piece of the glass would spider. It would break and it would make it harder to see out of the front of the riot shield. And eventually your riot shield would just get so broken that you couldn't really see or direct yourself while you had it out. You had to put it away, or you just had to pray that you were facing the correct way before they flanked you. And of course, you know, you could semtex people, and I think there were Molotovs in MW2 2009, but I don't remember using them. But regardless, a semtex stick to the shield itself, I think would kill unless they had blast shield, but no one ever ran blast shield. And of course, as of right now, in modern day Call of Duties, if you were to shoot someone with a riot shield, they don't splinter, they don't break. And it kind of surprises me because Infinity Ward is like the, you know, the people who lead the charge in terms of trying to make Call of Duty more realistic. So why are they using anti-riot plexiglass riot shields instead of ballistic shields that you would see in like Rainbow Six? I don't get it. You know, Joe Seacott, the bastard that he is, wanted to make Call of Duty a realistic milsim shooter. I don't know why he would, you know, overlook such an important detail. But regardless, here we are. I think we either need to add that. Actually, no, I don't think we either. I think we need to add that as a way to balance out using them, because going into Warzone, they are and still is to this day, from day one 4 years ago in Warzone, one of the most powerful and annoying pieces of equipment to fight against in Battle Royale and Resurgence. If you miss a semtex stick, you're dead. You can hit people with a molly, but you most likely have to have two if they're running EOD. And most people play at a higher sensitivity, so that way if people try to jump shot around them, they can just turn and block the bullets. And it's annoying, especially with how melee lunging is. Oh my God. So I think we need to at least add damage that changes how the riot shield looks to make it harder to see out of as counterplay. Optionally, we could make people who use the riot shield slower, because you're not really meant to run around at full speed Mach 5 with a plexiglass heavy riot shield that's meant to push people back. It's not meant to push people aggressively, it's meant to be as a defensive pushback, but it is what it is, whatever. A third option, you could reduce the melee damage, because you know, a lot of people aren't really gonna be phased by getting pushed back by plexiglass. It's gonna hurt a little bit, but it's not going to, you know, kill me in 2 hits. IRL. So that's how I would address the riot shield, you know, problem if I was a developer at Sledgehammer or Raven. Now, when it comes to cluster mines, I'm going to take it back to 2011. In 2011, we had a kill streak called the IMS. Basically, it was a quad-loaded mine. It had 4 corners, and there were 4 mines loaded in this IMS. It had a pretty decent range, but basically it worked the same as a cluster mine. It was an AoE denial. You could put it on a domination flag, and the only way for people to get rid of it was to hit it with an EMP grenade, use an EMP streak, or to shoot it a bunch. Now, in essence, the cluster mine does the same effect. It's meant to be an AoE denial of, you know, objectives, lanes, what have you. But the problem is that they are hard to see, and the only way that there's a visual indicator is if you see yellow mines on the ground, you know, beforehand, or you see small lights that are, you know, popping up from the ground. They're not, you know, insanely hidden like bouncing Bettys or proximity mines or what have you. But if you put them around a corner or you put them in a room of a building with the door closed, it's kind of hard to know that there's a cluster mine, you know, waiting in there for you. So I have one definite fix I would add to them to at least balance them out a little bit. And I have another optional one, but I don't think it's gonna work, so hear me out. The first one, we need to increase the sound that the beeps make on the cluster mine. If you stand really close to it, or if you hear, you know, an allied cluster mine, you hear small beeps emitting from each and every single one of the mines. They scatter out. I want to increase this sound cue by maybe 5 or 10 meters at least. So that way, if you're running into a building, you know, hey, there's a cluster mine in there. We need to be really careful, and we need to add some, you know, we need to think about how we're going to go in there. That's exactly what I would do to balance it out. Now, optionally, we could reduce the damage. They tried to nerf it in the most recent Season 2 Reloaded update, but they didn't really do anything. If you run into a cluster mine and you're 3-plated, fully health, at least in Warzone, you get instantly put to one shot. There's no way around it. You can pop a stim to get out of one shot, but for a majority of people, once you hit that first mine, you're going into a second mine. There's no way of stopping it. And if you're 2-plateful HP, you just insta-die. You go down, or you insta-die if you're in solos. So we could reduce the damage like, you know, Sledgehammer said that they would, but then that would just turn it into a very annoying and more lethal version of the scatter mine. For those of you that don't know, a scatter mine is a tactical piece of equipment alongside stuns and flash grenades that are meant to hinder your progress. It's also meant to be AoE denial, but it takes a lot more scatter mines to kill, and I think if you have EOD, you can run through an entire scatter mine and be okay. I don't know why we have a lethal piece of equipment that can kill in the tactical category. With a stun grenade, I think the only way that you can kill is if you're in hardcore and you direct impact someone when they're like less than 25% HP, but I could be wrong on that. I don't know. But yeah, if we nerf the damage too much on a cluster mine, then it just becomes a more annoying scatter mine, and we don't want to do that. We want to at least make it a kill streak. We want to make it live up to its name. So definitely we're going to increase the sound cue radius of it, so that way people can at least know and kind of play around it. And then, you know, maybe we can actually do what the nerf was supposed to be. You only get downed in like 3 cluster mines out of the spread, and then you go down if you're not fully plated with 2. I don't know. I'm definitely adding the sound cue, but you know, that's just me yapping for 5 minutes about 2 things that really annoy me. I get that some people like, you know, the cluster mine and the riot shield, and I'm not trying to take anything away from you. I personally don't like things being in the game that don't have counterplay. That is my whole point of this video. I'm not meant to rag on you and how you spend your $70 or more, depending on what edition of the game that you bought, but I do want to see some balance added to a game that I play day in and day out. I feel like that's, you know, the bare minimum that a lot of people can hear me out on. I appreciate you guys listening to me yap for, you know, 5-6 minutes. I don't know how long this is gonna be. I kind of want to do more videos like this where I'm just talking about, you know, things that I would fix. My friends have to hear this shit all the time. I might as well, you know, make videos out of it and kind of share my opinion, see who I can gather as not like a following, but as like a consensus of people that are like, yeah, man, yeah, we like Call of Duty. Let's go do that. Regardless, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Again, thank you for watching. Let me know what you would do to change the cluster mine and the riot shield, or would you keep it the way it is? You know, let me know in the comments below. Other than that, I will catch you guys in the next one. Yeah, see ya.